Hello, welcome to my channel. It's currently 1 a.m. and The Telegraph have tweeted their headline for today, when the consultation on A-levels comes out, and it is more shocking than I could have ever imagined. In fact, I'll hand that to them. I'll say well done for shocking me more than I could be shocked. What the Conservative government have decided to do with A-levels is have optional mini exams. The teacher chooses the papers, the teacher chooses who sits them, the teacher chooses all of that. And the worst part is, which makes absolutely no logical sense in any way, shape or form, is that the exams can be done in exam conditions, or they can be done in no exam conditions, unlimited time, and at home. So what the government is doing is making the exam boards give homework to people in school. So if you are a person who's in school, then you will be doing exams that, maybe the next school did them at home, but you're doing them in an exam hall, and that's just whatever's going to be. So I'm not sure how the grade boundaries are going to work, because if someone is doing a paper in 2 hours with invigilators in the room and someone else is doing them in their room, they've had 3 days to complete them, there's absolutely no sense of any kind of grade boundaries or logic there. It's really not adding up in the slightest. And as for me and for a lot of people who are not currently in school, who are private candidates who are resitting their exams due to COVID-19, meaning there wasn't exams last year, this means that we will likely be paying £800 to take a train to London, to sit in an exam hall with other random people you've never met in your life, to sit these mini exams. Who knows how long they could be half an hour a paper, and then sit them in exam conditions, pay your money, and those papers will be marked by whoever is at the exam centre, and then continue until you've done all of the papers, and then have a meeting with the exam centre's leaders, teachers, and discuss which grade you want and need. And then those papers that you did under exam conditions will be marked, and then you will be given a grade that you'll receive on August 9th, which is the new exam results day, because there's going to be 2 weeks between then and when people are accepted into university, so that there's more time for appeals, which I think there'll be a record number of appeals, because this is not making any logical sense. So after all of the private candidates have gone through this intense situation of doing the mini exams, they'll get their grade after doing hours and hours of work, giving thousands of pounds even, spending all of their money and going to do that. Meanwhile, people in schools, first of all, might not even have to sit them, and second of all, if they do sit them, they will be able to do them in any way. They'll be able to get their tutor to do it with them, and it's just not making any sense in the slightest. And we got the petition to 10,000 signatures, and for it now to be that we're in an even worse situation, it's just very shocking. And it's like, have they not forgotten the thousands of people that were meant to do their exams this year, the thousands of people that were told you can do the autumn exams or you can do the exams in summer, and now there's absolutely no provisions for them, and instead there's going to be favouritism and teachers marking homework. Like, this is not an exam, this is not a mini exam, this is homework for the resit and private candidates cohort to just do this homework under exam conditions, etc, etc, pay money, and go through all of that effort to just be at a lower grade than a year 13 who's been on Zoom. Like, I understand, it's a pandemic. Like, last year there was a U-turn, they did many things wrong, but this is the worst possible choice they could have come up with. Really not making any logical sense at all. And they were saying that there's going to be grade inflation, and they're not going to make schools give grades based on previous years. So say a private school where they got how many percentage of A stars, They can just say every single person in the school is going to get an A-star because their parents paid for a bench, their parents paid for a new like speaker. So I actually feel repulsed. I am in shock. I did not think it would be this bad. What we thought would happen was that there would be full optional exams in June, and that would mean that any year 13s could sit them. And when I say year 13s, I mean, you know, any person in school could sit them, and then the private candidates could sit them, and instead of having to go to an exam centre, you can just go to any sixth form that you want to go to. But here we are now, where people are being given homework, and some people will be doing homework with the answers. You know, Reddit will be going through and making an unofficial mark scheme like 2 days in. So I'm really just here like, this is worse than I could have imagined. This is literally worse than I imagined. I knew that it wouldn't be an ideal, there wouldn't be an ideal thing to happen, but this is completely off the chart. There was no logic, there was no thoughts, and I'm just really confused because the consultation was meant to come out on Monday and today's Thursday, and this is what they've come up with in all of that time since January. It's very sad. I've already had a lot of people messaging me, you know, as I want to do medicine. A lot of people that follow me want to do medicine, and someone messaged me that if they would have known that there would be no option to have a grade in this year, they would have been able to just do biomed and then do graduate entry medicine. But now people are going to just be doing grad med, but they took this gap year in order to get the grades and just do undergraduate medicine. So for us to all have just taken this year out in order to take A-levels, and then A-levels to be replaced with homework, it is just really shocking. I'm flabbergasted. Like, I could have been in a university where they let you transfer after your first year, but instead I thought, no, I'll get my A's and I'll take a year out and I'll do my thing, and then I'll just apply wherever I want to apply. But now grades are reliant on homework. One thing I'd like to mention as well, these mini tests, they're not special, they're not useful, they're not anything new. Like with AQA maths, we literally have topic tests that were given by AQA, and there's pages and pages of questions. So this is not anything new. These mini exams are just assessment materials that are used in mocks and are used in tests, even just class tests. So it's just really more shocking than I could have imagined. It's significantly worse than I could have imagined, and I'm just so disappointed for all of the private candidates, all of the people that really just wanted to prove themselves in an exam. It's especially painful now given that we've had all of the announcements, stage 1, 2, 3, and you know, June 21st. So people are going to be in nightclubs, but I can't be sitting in, instead of me cycling 10 minutes to the nearest sixth form, I have to take a train to London to do how many mini exams that are homework that people will be sitting at home while the TV is on. Like, this is, it's unthinkable. Especially on Twitter, there's a huge community of people. On the student rooms, people have been doing hundreds and hundreds of pages of conversation on what's going to happen, people giving people revision advice, and for that all to just go down the drain because there's going to be such hyperinflation. In my last video, I read an article about how the universities are already anticipating not having enough spaces for the people that already earned their place, that already have offers. Like, people have sacrificed a lot for this, and for it to turn out like this is just, it's very... So where do we go from here? People will be booking these expensive exam centres who are charging double in late fees or triple, and they'll be having to travel miles to them, and that when they sit them, there will be among strangers, and with all this one-on-one meeting things, they'll have to have a discussion with a tutor or a teacher who they've never met, who is a part of a massive company. So I just wanted to say to anyone out there who is really upset by this, and you know, I very much understand that. I am shook, as you've seen, but you know, if it's another gap year, it's another gap year. And you know, perhaps in 2022 we'll be able to travel and have a gap year. Honestly, we can only make the best of this absolutely terrible situation. Please, you know, remember that this is not that deep. Like, we're going to be living until we're like 90. Please don't worry too much. And you know, if you need help, there's the Samaritans, there's your friends, there's your teachers, and there's a lot of people that care about you. So even though this has happened, I just know that you're supported and loved. Even though this is very much a roadblock, there'll be another way, and I really hope that you will be at peace, and hopefully there will be a U-turn soon. I think we might have to do a little protest again like there was last year. I feel like this has really devalued an A-level, and you know, England has one of the most difficult educational systems. You know, if we were in America right now, we'd just be like worrying about like prom and stuff, but here we are. Yeah, don't worry about it too much, and especially if you don't want to do a degree that, like, you know, you have to have a degree, definitely look into apprenticeships or degree apprenticeships. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. For me, like, I've got a full-time job in the hospital right now, so maybe this is a sign that just have to take another year out. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, please stay safe, don't worry too much, and you know, protest. And Gavin Williamson must resign, respectfully. Yeah, thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you in my next video. Good night.